Shabba shibby dooby, shibby dooby. Getting all my books, not ducks, books in a row. All right. How y'all doing? I'm Bonnie Lacey, BonnieLacey.com. I'm reading from my book, Cash Envelopes. You've never had so much money. I'm actually using the workbook just to show you the lines that are in the book. This is a print version, obviously, but you can get it in the ebook version also. So go on BonnieLacey.com to get your own copy and get started with an amazing system. I'm going to read the back again for you. The title, Cash Envelopes. You've never had so much money. Sounds a little hyped up, right? It's not. I've used cash envelopes for many years now and can attest to the fact that when you need to pay the water bill, the money's in the envelope. When you want to go to the movies, the money is waiting for you in the entertainment envelope or whatever you choose to name your envelopes. Cash Envelopes, You've Never Had So Much Money is a simple book, excuse me, about a simple plan that can help anyone live abundantly. It's not a budget. It's a hands-on system that will change your life. It changed ours. So I'm going to start with chapter 7, and it's a letter from money to me. Really? Yeah, of course I wrote it, but yeah. So the last sentence of the chapter before that, in chapter 6, it says, "So money, I do not love you, and I do not fear not having enough." And onward to chapter 7, letter from money to me. Dear Bonnie, you have never had buckets and buckets of money, and you never seem to have too much of a problem with me. Yes, there were days when you didn't know how you'd pay for something important, like food, but you always had a positive and faith-based attitude toward me. You are by nature a saver, not a hoarder, a giver, not stingy, but you are good at tucking some of me away. Remember, this is money speaking to me, especially now with the cash envelopes. There were times when you had money from your parents' farm and you seemed to spend right through it. I did. If anything, you made yourself feel guilty when you did that. Whether you bought some clothes for you or something for the kids or grands, you had a hard time when you balanced the checkbook and beat yourself up when you saw where I went. But you did nothing wrong. You never overdid it, especially when you look at what others spend. Maybe they can afford it. You seem to know how far to go, when to slow it down, and when just to sit on me. You have good eye for deals, and I will help you with that. You need me to publish, and we will do that. You are earning me in other ways, and that will help also. You haven't spent a cent of that. Maybe saving for a new computer or a writer's conference, but you will have the money you need to publish. Also, be aware of not spending on too many things like software or other business tools. When I ask God what He wants me to do, what's the next step, what I should be focusing on, every single time He says, just keep writing. So I do. Where was I? What you really need to do is write and create more products for the business to sell. That makes sense. Books. Books might be your vice, but you always seem to read them. You enjoy them. You end up needing some for reference. And I love to do research. I love to dig into certain themes. There's going to be some weird themes coming up in some of the books, which I think they're weird, but I love it. You will always have more than enough because that is where your faith is. Anybody remember Psalm 23, verse 1? You are my shepherd. I will not lack. He is our shepherd. He literally is, and we won't lack because of Him. The more you work and the more you believe and speak it out, the more you will have. Thank you for allowing me to write to you this way. All the best. Signed, Money. I know, that's strange, but it helps. I did it in another book, Rage Rising, and I'll show it to you in a minute. Chapter 8, Resources. looking back over time, I'm sure I have forgotten some resources that we used and gained insight from. If you have any, feel free to email me with your list or put them in the comments down below. Number 1, Big Magic, Creative Living Beyond Fear by Elizabeth Gilbert. I listened to this one on Audible and loved it so much I bought the print version too. Number 2, Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert T. Kiyosaki. 3, The Wealthy Barber by David Chilton. I should read it again. 4, The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. 5, The Financially Confident Woman by Mary Hunt. 6, The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clason. 7, Secrets of Six-Figure Women by Barbara Stanny. 8, Real Artists Don't Starve by Jeff Goins. And I have a couple of other titles I want to show you. They're not in this book that I'm reading to you right now. One is Poverty, Riches, and Wealth. Yeah, Poverty, Riches, and Wealth. Here, get it back here. Chris Valentin. It's a fantastic book. So that's not in this one. And another one is Double Blessing. Pull it back here. Mark Batterson. It's really two really good books. They're books of faith, but also about finances and money. Another chapter or a section says stay connected. I would love it if you would comment down below, or if you'd go to bonnielacey.com and leave a comment on the contact page. That would be great. I'll reply to you. I don't reply to scammers, but if I know it's you and you've seen this video on YouTube, I'd love to connect with you. The other books I've written are the nonfiction. These are the nonfiction. This is a nonfiction called Rage Rising by Bonnie Lacey. My Walk Through the Dark Tunnel of Anger. It's a memoir. Sounds pretty dark. It kind of is. But it's a memoir of about 2 or 3 years of my life. When my mom was dying of lung cancer, a son was going through rehab, drug abuse, alcohol abuse. My daughter was very, very sick with West Nile, to the fact that we used wheelchairs, canes, and we talked about death and dying. And my husband was in a car accident where the guy that caused the accident was intending to commit suicide because he'd been in lots of bad trouble, and he was willing to take my husband with him. My husband survived, thankfully. So that's what that book is about. That's probably the next one I'm going to read to you. Rage Rising, My Walk Through the Dark Tunnel of Anger. And then there's these books as far as nonfiction, the cash envelopes. They're available. The little book is available in, I can't talk anymore, print and ebook, and this workbook is in print and ebook also. Hope to create a better version in audio than to. The fiction I have, it's all in the Great Escapee series, which is a Christian contemporary fantasy. I like to write about you and I are kind of face to face here in a way, in the physical world, but what's going on in the invisible world? What are the angels and demons up to? What's God up to? The Holy Spirit and all that. So it's kind of a paranormal, but it's I call it the Christian contemporary fantasy. So the first book is Released, then there's Rescued, Restored, Revealed, and Redeemed, and right now I'm writing the rough draft of Resurrected. So, but you can also buy the box set of the first 3 in that series. Go on my website again, bonnielacey.com, and go to shop, and you'll find all the books listed there. But there's a section that has box sets. There's only one right now, but you can get it in the ebook form, which is fairly cheap for the first 3 books for $9.99. I don't recommend buying the box set in print or paperback, because that's a chunk of a book to hang on to read, right? But if you like print, go for it. Connect with me online, bonnielacey.com again. There you will find, as you scroll down to the bottom of the page, sign up for a free book, and that's Released, the first book in this series. And just leave your email address and click Get My Book, and they're delivered by BookFunnel. And so if you have any problems there with that, then they are there. There's a little place you can click, and they will help you do that. I promise I won't explode your inbox. So as you sign up for my email newsletter, I just send out a newsletter maybe once a month, or maybe the only time it's more often if I have a new book out or whatever, something I think you'll be interested in. I share journal entries. I share, what's going on in my life. I share what a doodle once in a while. I like to doodle, so maybe some things that you might be interested in. I so appreciate your taking the time to be here, to listen to this, to watch this novice of a YouTuber, but I've enjoyed it. It's taught me a lot, and I've enjoyed connecting with you that have left comments, that have emailed or whatever. I really enjoy that, and I hope to keep up the connection if that's okay with you. It makes it more of a relationship, a conversation. Also, if you ever want to help out an author, any author, me or anybody else, please consider leaving an honest review, whether you liked it or not, wherever you bought my books. Number 2, or tell your friends about it. And even on the email newsletter, as you sign up for that, refer it to friends, forward it on to friends. It's fine with me. I'm okay with that. Number 3, ask for it at your local library. And 4, use the hashtag Bonnie Lacy wherever you talk about my books online. So my website again is bonnielacy.com. Find my doodles and more on Instagram. That's at Bon Lacy. Twitter is on at Bonnie L. Lacy. And again, I so appreciate you being here. God bless you. God keep you. Happy cash envelopes.